Hi, so I just want to talk my experience with past lives, um, and some psychic visions that I've gotten. None of this has been physical voices or like actual like pictures. It's all been in my psychic mind, in my like, I don't know. It's just not actual. I'm not seeing things. But that's being said, they are very came out of nowhere. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to talk about them. I don't know how I feel about them, but I'm going to talk about them. Um, so I have lives that I remember not losing our memory in some of our lives. I remember having freedom over our bodies and being able to choose our bodies, like in the life, and change our bodies and manifest physically. And I remember expressing ourselves in not being judged and everyone expressing themselves freely and stuff. I remember it slowly getting more like organized and like something was happening, but it wasn't be getting more physical because the physicality of everything was so random. Like some lives I remember being super physical, some lives I remember being not physical, like barely at all. Obviously we're like a little bit physical, we have to be if we exist. But I remember it not being linear. So, like, it didn't get more physical, it didn't get less physical. It was just all over the place. But I remember it getting more controlled. Like, there was more spells in the air, probably. Um, and just stuff was happening. I don't even know what was happening. I just remember, you know, things were happening with other people, not me. I think I like kind of stayed out of it a little bit, probably too much. I remember being a fish in complete water, but it was um, early in the universe where it wasn't on Earth or on a planet. It was literally just water, like it was like its own realm. And I remember being able to manifest there and change things there. I remember being a bear. I couldn't change things or manifest there, and I was very physical. I remember going down slides and stuff, and there was a bathtub. I don't remember. I like taking baths, I guess. And like I remember these slides. Um I don't know about that. That was like a specific life. That was one life, but oh wait, there was another life that also with slides. This fairy life where I think I was like jumping out of my body. I have this thing where I like get out of my body and it's like I almost like it feels like my soul is dying. I don't know if that's what's happening, but it feels like my soul is dying. Literally. It's so bad. It's like I think I'm just like dissociating from anxiety so much that like I'm out of my body and everything goes blank. But like it feels like I'm dying. Like there's this energy frequency that I've got that is like dying, and I've gotten from other entities that it is dying. Um uh, I don't know about that. That's a lot to take in. Um but I could just be like dissociating. But there is one frequency that isn't dissociating that's like almost like it's ripping you from the life. So I think it is a brain thing, but And anyway, that's what was happening a lot in that fairy life as well. I was like jumping out of my body. I was like experimenting with like soul things. And it was really scary. And people were like, don't do that. I remember being told, don't do that. Like, one second. So yeah, fairy life. I was like, I didn't have wings, I don't think. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But it was like a grassy field. I remember, I don't think I chose that one. But I remember them talking a lot about choosing and a lot about life there. Like it was almost like Earth, but like better. There was like no work or anything, and we were just sitting in a field. I think I was smoking something. A lot of my lives, I think I was smoking something. Actually, like almost all of them that I remember, I was smoking something. Usually both cigarettes and weed. I remember smoking cigarettes in my old, like past, like when our bodies didn't mean anything, and we could choose our bodies and we can change our bodies, and it was like a different time, you know? And I remember just smoking a lot of cigarettes. And yeah. I remember being a dog person that was like blue. I remember being in a life where robots were taking over, and like I was like working on machines to like help something. I don't know. I remember spelling a lot in my lives, spelling a lot against the system that was in place and for good things. So I don't know. I remember being a girl just spelling like I had wings and I could fly, but it was like a weird, energetic, but also physical. Like a lot of them like was a mix of both, and like I could switch in between states. And I think that one actually I switched in between states uncontrollably. So that's suspicious. I remember being a girl just like spelling. Yeah. Those are two separate lives, but it's fine. It's not important. I remember this like stage where like we had like little boxes. It was really weird. We all had like box houses. It was weird. And there was a lot of hierarchy going on there. And it was a really weird time. Like the most weird time was then. I remember people being like in swivel chairs, like they were like, oh my god, I'm gonna like be a doctor, play doctor or something. It was a weird time, but like nothing was like planets yet. It was just like one big thing. And that's when my body, like when you could change your body and stuff, it was just one big thing. It wasn't planets yet. Like it was literally one big thing. I remember, I should really just say remember, because I don't know. Okay, this is just flashes that I've gotten. This is just like feelings that I've gotten. This is just images that I've gotten in my psychic. But I don't know the truth. No one knows the truth. So I'm going to continue. I had this Lyran life. I remember being in a castle, but I wasn't royalty. It was like a weird like stone. You know those castles that like go up, spiral up? Like it was one of those things. It was weird. And I think my father was abusive. So it like wasn't good. Like I remember being an adolescent girl and talking about my period. I think I was either in my 20s or teens. I'm not sure. probably all of them. I remember talking about period, talking about girlhood a lot. And I remember these lives where I would like set up spells so I could talk to entities outside of myself, outside of my realm. So like I would set up like these, I would call them traps. There were like little traps, I guess, where like your soul would just like, I don't know, like it made it easier to like communicate or something. And I would also like make jokes and stuff with them. I would spell a lot. I remember spelling a lot, things that I can't spell now, so suspicious. I remember being a butterfly. That was one of my more solid lives, one of my more earthy lives. And then I remember that changing when I died, and then I like everything was weird. Like a stage. Like it turned into a stage when I died or something. Or like it was uncontrollable. I might have had multiple lives as a butterfly. I don't know. I remember being a worker, like working on the system, and like it was this machine thing. I remember being a man, and like I was a computer. There was this computer that I worked on a lot. This was before planets. Actually, no, planets were a thing then, but it wasn't like, it didn't reach me for some reason. Like I must have been old soul or something, but it didn't reach me. And I was like, remember working on this computer. I was writing spells. I remember, I don't know. I don't know. So I think I'm an old soul. Oh, this is all weird. I remember being a red, like, hairy creature, furry creature, with like red fur, but like humanoid kind of. I remember being this girl on this like island, and she was super psychic, but super like earthy at the same time. So I think that's like, I feel so inspired by that life, because it's like she was in the physical realm as much as me, but she was still like more psychic than I am. So I don't know what that means. Physicality and psychicness and energeticness, those are all different words. Like how physical something is, and how psychic someone can be is like two different things, because you can be really physical and be really good at being psychic. I think a lot of it is self-trust, which is one great thing to talk about, because I don't trust myself with any of this. So flashes, what I get flashes of. So I get flashes of pictures of places, like their realms, that I think bad entities are in control of. I remember I see a lot like a carousel. I see a beach and a dock with like, there's these souls that like go with the waves, and they like are like holding on for dear life or something like that. It gets dark, but I remember these beds under the ocean in a ship. So like it's like a shipwreck with these beds, and like people are like stuck, trapped to their bed or something. It's under the ocean. I see these planets. I see it's almost like the hierarchy of each of the planets that we assume exist because they're popularized. Like I'll see like Polaris and Lyra, and a lot of blue Centauri or whatever. Centauri. I don't know. But you know, I feel like they do that a lot there. And like Sirius B and Sirius A, and like just those planets, but like almost like them communicating, but they also seem like they might not be good people, so it might all be a lie, because it's like this weird like picture of like a bunch of planets like close to each other, and then there's like certain people on these planets that are big and like sitting on the planet, and like those are the ones talking to me, like the big ones. So like what about the small ones? But I don't know. Who knows who's in power? um there's this girl, there's like certain entities that seem to be following me. There's this girl that's like, I don't think she's a good one, but she might be trying to pretend to be bad so she can like try to calm me down a little bit, because I think every entity's bad, because who knows, right? um so yeah, she's like purple and red colors sometimes. um it's hard to describe energy. I can't even describe her energy. I guess I tried. But yeah, there's a lot of entities, and they like to talk and make jokes and like be a little like ego shadowy, and be like dark jokes and stuff. um but it's not necessarily they're bad people, it's just they're like shadowy. So like I don't consider that bad necessarily. If you have a big ego, it's not necessarily bad. Like ego is not bad, is what I'm trying to say. But I don't know if they're good at the same time. They could be evil, like trying to trick me. They could be bad, good people that I just can't get quite right. I don't know. I don't know if they're good or evil. I can't tell. And there's also this weird thing that like when I make up memories, it kind of feels like the same thing. Like I'm like, which makes me think some of these are a lie, but some of these like popped into my head. But like there's a difference between making them and popping in your head, right? So these did pop into my head. But sometimes when I make my own memories, like I'll be like, oh, maybe I like did this, and then that girl I think is involved with that. She's like, oh, like maybe it was like this, but it feels so similar that makes me think that like entities can lie like super well. So I don't know if everything's a lie. Everything I felt is a lie, because it makes me feel like entities can really lie when they are like, oh, but this could have happened in your memories, and then it feels exactly the same as the other memories. It's I guess more forceful, but like at the same time it's like interesting to think maybe it could all be orchestrated. So sometimes I feel like there's fake memories, and then there's like, I don't know. And I remember seeing a picture of me as a baby, and then like a bunch of entities around me. And I think most of them were like evil. Some of them were like evil. I don't know. Some of them were good. I don't know. It's weird. I see the soul and the body all the time as separate. I see the soul as literally in this machine of a body. And the body is so strong of a physical item that it literally controls the soul, because the soul has to be physical for it to exist. Remember that. It has to, energy has to, it is physical. Like, what does physical mean? It means it exists. To me, anyway. So, like, I know there's like deeper meaning of physical. Like, you can get more physical and less physical, but like, technically, everything's physical because, like, it exists. It's just like the universe is a physical thing. Everything's physical. Like, what is your definition of physical? It's probably different for everyone. Then people are saying everything's not physical because it is. Even energy is physical. It's a physical thing, technically. Like, physical to me means like the universe has a pattern for it and is like has information on it. Like, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, it's in the universe, you know what I mean? Then it's physical, you know? It exists. It's physical. So I think everything's physical. Some things are just less physical and more physical. So I believe if that's the truth, then like physical things can certainly affect not less physical things, right? I don't know if more physical is better or less physical is better, but I think the physical body affects the soul in some way, and the brain affects the soul, even if it's not like super intense and it's like possible for you to like break through. I still believe that it like affects it in a like really insane way. And I see it as the soul in a machine body and like connected to these things that it like literally can't get away from. Like, well, it can like slip out, but like it's like connected to the machinery in a way that like, it's so weird to like describe. It's just like connected to it like tissue. Does that make sense? It's connected to it like tissue into a machine. Like, all those nerves are all like in the machine and it's all like kind of stuck. Like, it's possible for it to leave, but it's kind of like stuck there, you know? And like it's so into the machine that the machine starts to go into the soul. Like, it starts affecting the soul. Like imagine you're watching a show and the show starts affecting you. Like, the machine is showing the soul something and it's starting to affect the soul. Like, for example, the brain will be like, you're anxious, right? Your soul will be like, oh, wait, am I anxious? You know what I mean? So the body will like kind of like affect the soul in that way, I think. And I keep seeing flashes of it, like the soul in a machine body, and I don't know. So yeah. That's all I have. That's my experience. My unique experience. Yeah. That's all I got. I just can't say anything else. Like, is it real? Is it not? It's what I experienced. It was very real, like very intense for me. It wasn't like very real, but it was very intense. You know, it was still in my psychic. It wasn't like physically like visualized. I couldn't like see anything or hear anything, but it was very in my psychic. But it was very intense. So I don't know. Is it some kind of lie? Is it some kind of message that I'm supposed to give to like not trust reincarnation? Because that's all the information put together that I've gotten shows me that. I don't know. I could just be crazy. We all could just be crazy. So remember that I could also be crazy because, yeah, like I'm not saying I'm not crazy. But to be fair, Christianity's pretty crazy too. Like there's a God in the sky who's gonna help me in some any way. He hasn't helped me. Because I don't believe in him? Wow, he's a terrible person. Because I don't believe in him, he's gonna spite me? Like, what the heck? But, so there's crazier things. I'm like literally trying to make myself feel better. Okay, I'm gonna go now. A, good luck. Wish me luck. Everyone have luck. Yay, luck.